I think if you look around at so many of the technologies that are available today, there's so many brilliant female minds that are behind it.
That's right, folks. We're looking at a commercial for a new Monopoly game. What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I think you're going to like today's video.
Back in the old days, women were in the kitchen, women looked pretty on the stage, but now women and girls are building things.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting ready to buy this brand new Monopoly game.
How did you get there, Ava?
I don't really know.
Miss Monopoly.
See? You thought I was kidding about this being commercial for a board game, but it absolutely is. Monopoly is going to solve all of the world's problems and inspire women everywhere simply by playing it.
Hasbro created a game that no other game maker has ever done before. A game that features Ms. Monopoly, whose goal is to make a difference by celebrating female inventors and inspiring young entrepreneurs everywhere.
Unless those inventors happen to be male. Now, there's of course a lot more to go over with Miss Monopoly, even more hilarity. But before I get to that, a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. You know, it's that time again, time for this video sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. The game is already a super mega hit, a phenomenon, a blockbuster. Well, you get me. Get real, raw, dark, epic, and awesome. Raid Shadow Legends will take you to the world of dark fantasy and realism. For those of you who don't know, Raid Shadow Legends is a brand new collection RPG game that is taking the mobile gaming landscape by storm. More than 10 million players worldwide enjoyed the game in just 6 months. The game is still growing super fast, and they have huge plans of updates over the next 6 months, so there's infinite content for you to enjoy, no time to get bored. There's a new faction, a new tag team arena, and even a new clan boss you'll be able to fight with your clan mates. You can find me under the nick The Quartering, and if you're quick enough, you can also join my clan. Personally, I think the game is really polished, but you don't have to just take my word for it. With more than 300,000 reviews, Raid has almost a perfect score on the Play Store. So what are you waiting for? Seriously, you've got nothing to lose. One, you support the channel by supporting an advertiser that has stuck by us, and the game's free to play. So go to the video description, click on the special links, and if you're a new player, you'll get 100,000 silver, 1 energy refill, a full day of XP boost, and 1 free champion executioner. I'll see you in there. Obviously, the concept of Miss Monopoly is hilarious, but it gets even more hilarious. The game promotes or combats the long debunked female to male wage gap. In fact, in the game, women make more money than men. One of America's most recognizable board games that nobody buys anymore, whoops, sorry, is getting an upgrade. Hasbro upgrade. Upgrade. This is just like the socialism monopoly, I think it was. It's like, this is clearly to get all the morons on Twitter to retweet it and talk about how woke it is and how totally retro it would be to play Monopoly. One of America's most recognizable board games, again, the twist: in Miss Monopoly, female players get more money. Unlike the classic game, women will collect 240 Monopoly bucks when they pass go, while male players will collect 200. That's what I call equality. The idea is to create a game where women make more than men, the first game to do so, according to Hasbro. Yeah, because it's so stupid, nobody's ever wanted to do that. Instead of buying property, the players will invest in inventions created by women. Things like Wi-Fi and chocolate chip cookies. Wow, thank God. No worries, mainstays such as jail, luxury tax, and chance cards are still included. The announcement of Miss Monopoly comes a few weeks after the company received criticism for Monopoly Socialism, a tongue-in-cheek game that sparked debate for its flippant handling of socialism. Yeah, probably one of the worst ideologies ever in history, but that's neither here nor there. You see USA Today covering it. Girl power. Hasbro brings the gender pay gap debate to game night. That's what everybody wants. And honestly, the gender pay gap isn't a debate. It's a myth. It's long been debunked. No serious economist takes it seriously, but people keep talking about it.
As I explained in my first video, the famous 23-cent gender pay gap is simply the difference between the average earnings of all men and women working full-time. And it doesn't take into account differences in occupation, positions, education, job tenure, hours worked per week. And when competent economists look at all these variables and consider them, the wage gap narrows to the point of vanishing.
Now, this has been a myth that's been perpetuated by just about any feminist on Twitter, including the White House during Obama's tenure, talked about this faux gender pay gap, which was quickly turned against them as it was found that, on average, women made less than men in White House positions. And watching them stretch to try and explain that was hilarious. Now, that's exactly what Miss Monopoly wants to bring to your game night. Hasbro is launching a new version of the iconic board game that celebrates female trailblazers and is the first where, quote, women make more than men. Here's an interesting question, and this is why a lot of people that think this way, to me, I don't really give them the time of day intellectually, because they're the type of people that if you spend time around them, they will actively make you more dumb. If somebody thinks this is a good idea, simply ask them, okay, you think that the gender pay gap is a bad thing. You think that allegedly men making more money than women in the world is a wrong that needs to be corrected. They will answer yes, of course they will. Then you need to ask them, well, why would you support a game that pays women more than men? I thought that was bad. And then simply take a step back, because their head might explode. The new game, which includes several modern updates, including ride shares instead of railroads and Wi-Fi instead of waterworks. By the way, I know what Hasbro's trying to do. They're trying to get into that sweet millennial cash. They're targeting this game to the 5 childless weirdos that live in a 1-bedroom apartment that might have $2 a week in spendable money. They think they're going to buy a board game. They're sorely mistaken. The game is for sale, of course, for just $20. Interestingly, Hasbro doesn't make the game cheaper for women. It's just a gimmick, as all of these things are, of course. Jen Boswinkle, Senior Director at Global Brand Strategy and Marketing for Hasbro Gaming, said the game is designed for today's kids and highlights a subject they may not know about yet. What? Obvious sexism? Is that something that you want to teach young boys and girls about? I mean, what does this game actually accomplish? Nothing. Now, the thing is, the game itself is not a bad idea, but for their stupid marketing ploy. Nobody in their right mind who plays this game is going to be okay with their sister getting $240 and them getting $200. No family is going to play that way. Unfortunately, this is actually a pretty good idea to educate people and have inventions and things like that. It's probably a nice little product for young females, but they ruin it by trying to inject something that will appeal to people who are on Twitter and can't even afford their game anyway. But it's getting loads of cover. Here it is on Inside Edition. To create the first game where women earn more than men. It's funny because it says the goal, as if the goal isn't to, I don't know, call me crazy, entertain, I don't know, maybe I'm nuts, bring families together and keep family time interesting and fun. No, the goal, as stated by both of these websites, was to create the first game where women earn more than men. I wonder what the winning statistics would be. I know that's probably a spicy question to ask, but boy, it sure would make winning even better when my opponent was making 20% more money than me and they still lost. I suppose that's true. The thing is, it's a, quote, fun new take on a game that creates a world where women have an advantage often enjoyed by men. It is earned by men. Here's another helpful piece of advice. When somebody talks about the pay gap and they'll say, women make 23 cents less, The correct term to use is earn. They aren't paid 23 cents less per on the dollar, because that, my friends, is illegal. If that was true, if they were in fact paid 23 cents less for the exact same work, the exact same output, they would be rich. They would be suing every major company. And on top of that, how about you ask somebody who brings this up, if that were true, if women get paid 23 cents on the dollar, 77 cents on the dollar for doing the exact same work as men, how come every major corporation doesn't just hire exclusively women? That's what I would do. If I could get the exact same work for 30% less, why wouldn't I do it? All of this perpetuates just a horrible fallacy. It doesn't get into any real issues. It doesn't help anybody. The idea that I'm just going to pay you more because you were born a certain way doesn't help women either. You have to earn it. Just simply getting more money for existing is absurd. So not only does this game teach, apparently, kids horrible ideas that they're entitled to more money based on what gender they are, but it targets people who can't even afford or have long lost interest in their game. Congratulations, Hasbro. You're in the news for one day and everybody's laughing at you. I hope you enjoyed this video though. We'll talk to you again real soon. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, before you leave, make sure you leave a like and drop a comment on it. It's the only way to help the channel grow in today's YouTube environment. Above you'll find a link to subscribe, and make sure you turn your notifications on, or if you just want to check out another video, there's one of those up there too.